Welcome to another edition of WWE Sit and Talk. I am back with a post Backlash review with Victor. Victor, hello, sir.
Are you doing good, sir?
Above ground, above ground. How are you?
Doing all right. Doing all right. Not too bad.
So, what did you think of Backlash overall?
Overall, I thought it was a good pay-per-view. I had some things that I want to complain about, but we'll get to that.
Oh, I can only imagine what they are. I guess we can start with the first match, the United States title match. Jacob Fatu versus Drew McIntyre versus Damian Priest versus Louisiana Knights, and Jacob Fatu walked away the winner. What did you think about this match?
I thought it was a good opener, a good way to start the pay-per-view. Something a little bit crazy, something hectic, something to get people interested in. And it had a nice little surprise with Jeff Cobb debuting and siding with Solo and Jacob. So that was always interesting to see.
Well, technically it's siding with Solo because Fatu had no idea what the hell was going on there.
It
What it
sounds
seems
like
like.
Solo went into business for himself there.
Shocking. Solo Sikoa going into business for himself.
No,
This was
not
a good
Solo.
match. I like this match personally. Uh, it, we both predicted Fatu to win this match.
Yep.
Drew and Damien kind of canceled each other out like we kind of thought they would.
Rumors had it Drew took a nasty bump towards the
I
end of
did,
that match.
I did hear that. I did hear that. Hopefully he's okay. You know, Drew McIntyre, he'll make something out of it. Keep it
Oh yeah.
moving. Anything else about this match that you liked, disliked?
I like that Jacob Fatu came out victorious, and I didn't even mind seeing LA Knight getting pinned. But I'm not sure how I feel about Drew and Damien just continuing their feud for them to have another match. I'm like, it's not really doing anything for any one of them to have another match.
It gives them something to do until to push to something else because I mean they do have a story.
Yeah,
To, I mean, their story does make sense. So I feel like this is going to be another three matches. I feel like either it might be Saturday night's main event, depending on Drew's condition, or the next pay per view after that. And then I think this could probably end maybe SummerSlam,
fingers
Money in
crossed.
the Bank.
At the
So
end of the day, Drew has to walk out
you're not a fan
winner
of this
of
feud at
this
all, are
feud. I'm like, I liked it, but when when I saw Drew beat Damian Priest, I thought it was a one and done.
you? Yeah, I didn't have a one and done vibe, especially with Drew winning. You know they like Priest a lot too, so you know Priest got to get his win back.
Gotcha, gotcha. Yeah.
But yeah, interesting to see how this Jeff Cobb and Bloodline situation goes. I didn't realize how short he was, Jeff Cobb. I didn't realize how short he was compared to like Solo.
And he does have history with Jacob from the Indies. So interesting how those two work together.
How do you see that playing out?
I see now that Solo has Jacob. I mean, not Jacob. Jeff Cobb. I can see Jacob and Solo kicking Jacob Fatu out of the bloodline and kind of like doing their own thing.
So you think we could end up being like Fatu versus like Solo and then Jeff Cobb, or Jeff Cobb then Solo?
I think it'll be first Jacob versus Jeff Cobb and then Solo because Solo's the real mastermind. He's the one pulling the strings and everything.
It's true. Yeah, I'm curious to see how this goes. I definitely do see them turning on Solo, which kind of makes me curious about the Tongans, what they're gonna do with them once healthy.
Ex- Once they're back on TV, yeah,
But okay, we can go ahead and talk about the women's intercontinental title match, the best women's match of the night.
it was the
Um,
only women's match of the night.
it would have been the best match if there was another one. It was a really good match, in my opinion.
It really was one of the better women's matches that we've seen as of late. If I'm being honest,
I don't think it was better than Io and Stephanie or
yeah,
the
yeah,
women's triple threat, but they have chemistry with each other, which you can tell.
oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah, Lyra walked in as champion, walked out as champion. She didn't win as how I predicted, but she did win as I predicted. You
I,
picked
I
Becky.
I'm surprised at the outcome. Like you predicted Becky would lose via shenanigans from Bailey. I predicted Becky winning because it was going to be a one-on-one match. But at the end of the day, there were no shenanigans. It was a clean match, and we got a clean victory. So, does this do more to hurt the feud or grow it?
It helped Lyra.
Yeah, but
Lyra got over it. She got people behind her. A loss for Becky doesn't hurt Becky at all.
here's the
And
thing:
mhm,
Lyra didn't need to prove that she could beat Becky because Lyra already did that in NXT
right.
like 2 years ago. So now it's the running story of Becky can't beat Lyra.
And I think that's where the triple threat will play in, where Bailey would be inserted, and I feel like Becky will win that match, and Becky would be like, "Yeah, I beat Lyra, blah 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 blah," and Lyra would be like, "Well, you never pinned me," because I feel like Bailey would take the pin in that triple threat
Yeah,
match, and you can continue this feud even further if you wanted to. But this is a really good match. Oh,
it was 100%.
before we continue, we do want to say rest in peace to Sabu. He passed away today.
Terrible, terrible.
Yeah, didn't want to gloss over that.
Yeah, yep.
ECW
Just happened
legend.
today. A legend wherever he went, to be
Yeah,
honest.
true, true. He was only 60, I believe.
Yeah, pretty sad that he died at such a young age of 60.
Yeah, Ric Flair was still trying to wrestle at 60. So yeah,
He was still in the WWE at 60, I think, if I'm not
more than
mistaken.
likely, more than likely, more than likely. But yeah. Next match, I believe the next match was the Intercontinental Championship match with Dirty Dominic Mysterio walking
Yes.
in as champion and walking out. But I feel like they built the Judgment Day storyline some.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, Finn Balor hesitated to help Dom, which it didn't matter because Dom, all by himself, defeated Penta.
I, I don't know all by himself, but he got the job done. He got the job done.
What are you talking about?
Are you gonna pretend like this was a one-on-one match where no one interfered and no one had an effect on the victory?
I mean, Carlito and JD weren't really a factor. Neither was
I'm
Finn. I
not talking
mean,
about Judgment Day. I'm talking
I'm
about I'm talking about the goof that was under the ring that came out just as when Penta was looking to finish it.
I'm not sure if I know what you're talking about.
I'm talking about the guy who's wearing a mask for claiming to be El Grande Americano.
Oh, a Grande Americano was there. Well, that would been cool to see him if he was there, but you know, he wasn't. I didn't see that part. I must have missed it or something.
You must have been on a bathroom break or something, because
No, a bathroom break during Dom match? Of course not.
then how could you have not seen Grande Americano interfere in the match?
He wouldn't
He
do
cost
something like
Penta the
that.
match. He 100% would and has on multiple occasions. What do you mean
Your
he wouldn't do that?
your hate for El Grande Americano is unhealthy. It's unhealthy.
Did Grande Americano not make his debut interfering in a LWO match?
Yeah,
Did
but
Grande Americano not interfere in a Ray Phoenix match?
okay,
So you're
yeah.
saying that him interfering in people's matches is so underneath him?
I mean, he had to make a statement.
What statement was that?
Isn't isn't El Grande Americano undefeated at WrestleMania?
What does that have to do with Backlash?
Isn't he not undefeated at WrestleMania? That was the question.
Yes, because it's the only match he's had
Okay, he's
at
one and
Mania.
zero, 1-0. That's all. That's all I wanted you to hear you say. This is a this. I didn't feel like this match needed to be on Backlash.
It really didn't.
This could have been on Raw. I would have much rather have had Nia and Tiffany. Um, you could have done Rhea and you could have done that Rhea and Io versus Julie and Roxanne.
Yep.
But I mean, it was fine. It just felt like a Raw match, personally.
Now, does this hurt Penta now that he's taken back-to-back losses against Dominic Mysterio? He lost at WrestleMania, and right now I can't remember last time I saw Penta win a match that didn't have anything to do with Judgment Day.
Um, I feel like this is going to end up building up to a trade to get Ray Phoenix on Raw because I feel like they're going to try to build a story where Penta is constantly outnumbered with, um, you know, not LWO, but Judgment Day or maybe American Made, and he might have a match with El Grande Americano. But it helps Dom. Penta is seen as a tag guy anyway. He could still have good matches and lose.
Yeah, yeah.
And it seems like we're getting a AJ Styles and Dom feud.
Oh yeah, that's supposed to be cooking um literally tomorrow night.
Yeah, yeah. AJ Styles will face Finn Balor. Spoiler alert: AJ Styles is going to win that match.
100%.
Anything else about this match you want to talk about, or
Let's see. No, that's pretty good in that match.
tough? Next we have Pat McAfee versus Gunther, and Gunther walks away with the victory and a little respect for Pat. What are your thoughts on this match?
I thought it was a good back and forth. Pat had some good moments in the match, as well as Gunther. I don't think anyone expected Pat McAfee, Pat McAfee to have such an evenly fought match with Gunther. Everyone thought that Gunther was gonna literally destroy him in this match. When it wasn't. It was a good back and forth. Even Cole had to intervene in the match a couple times. Of course, Cole being the most unbiased commentator ever had to get involved. It was a solid match.
I felt it was too back and forth. Like I know Pat McAfee can go. Like I've seen him against Cole and a few other matches. Like I know he can go, but I felt like this should have been more not one sided, but I felt it was 50-50, where it should have been like 75-25, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, I didn't expect Gunther, to go out there and take a whole bunch of bumps, which he really didn't. Um, I feel like the question is, well, what was the point of that feud? Like, it didn't help Gunther. It didn't help Pat.
Yeah. It really did nothing for either person.
It just felt like it was like, hey, we have Saturday Night Main Event coming up in like 2 weeks. We don't really have anything we want to put off the Backlash, so we'll just go ahead and. I mean, I would have much rather them would have kept Gunther suspended.
It would have made sense if someone had interfered in the match, costing Gunther the match, and therefore giving Gunther something to do after this match had happened. But that didn't happen.
I mean, I know Goldberg was where people were rumoring for Goldberg, which
Yeah,
I don't I don't want to see a Gunther Goldberg match. Do you?
I really don't. I'm not the biggest Goldberg fan. I've never been. But then again, every couple years he comes back.
Did you ever watch Goldberg back in like his WCW days?
No, I didn't.
Goldberg was choose my words carefully. Goldberg did what was necessary to get over it. He was good at it during that time frame in WCW because he was just a guy who would just go out there, spear somebody, jackhammer, it was over. And then he was the world champion, and then he got tased by Kevin Nash to lose the title,
Yep,
and that's where things just kind of. And then he damn near killed Bret Hart.
yep. Bret Hart's
Um,
never forgotten that.
I think he's the only one that makes sure people does not forget that, which is his health, it's his body. I get it, but if draws could forgive D'Lo Brown for accidentally paralyzing him, or Tyson Kidd could forgive Samoa Joe for almost killing him, I think Brett could
Ended
let
his
him go.
career.
Yeah, Brett went on to wrestle after that, so it wasn't like Brett was like, "Oh, well, I can't wrestle anymore." He had matches.
Yep.
All right. Anything else about this match?
No,
All right. Well, then we got the main event. Um, John Cena defending the real world championship against Randy Orton. This was actually better than I thought it was going to be. What do you think?
it was a good main event. It was something that needed to happen for Cena to go off on his retirement tour. Everyone knew that this match was going to happen, and considering that they advertised it as the last time they're fighting, I'm hoping that's true. But you never know with WWE. But I'd go as far as saying that this match that they had was better than Cody versus Cena at Mania.
1,000%. 1,000%. I did not like Cody Cena, and it had nothing to do with Travis Scott. It felt like that Cody Cena match was in molasses, like they was wrestling in molasses. I'm just like this is not it. This ain't it.
Yeah,
I don't want to see this again. Orton Cena started off kind of kind of slow, which you kind of figure, but then you had the table spots, you had multiple ref bumps, you had about six
RKO's.
RKO's, some good counters. This was a better match than I thought it was going to be. Our truth tried to save
Our
Cena,
truth, man.
which he did. He he saved Cena, didn't save himself, but
He saved his hero.
childhood hero. Remember that. And yeah, at the end of this, Orton lost, low blow. Um,
No shocker there.
yeah, used the belt. And one, two, three. That was it. Where does Cena go from here?
Um, I see him moving on from Randy, feuding with other people that people want to see him feud with. Maybe a CM Punk or a Roman Reigns or Seth Rollins, if that's possible. I know Night of Champions is coming up, and I think last year they had where the WWE champion would face the World Heavyweight champion. That'd be nice to see him versus Jay.
That would be
Um,
interesting. That would make sense too.
a better question yet: where does Randy go after this? Because you know there's going to be something happening with Randy after what he did.
I kind of want to see Randy versus Nick Aldis. Call it weird, but I kind of want to see it. Just even if it's just one match, like I kind of want to see it.
I
I mean,
was
he's
I was slightly disappointed when I saw Nick Aldis make his debut as the SmackDown GM because I'd seen some of his stuff in Impact. I've heard about some of his stuff in NWA, and I was fully expecting him to come back as a wrestler. And I would love to see Randy versus Nick Aldis and Nick kind of step away from, being GM.
I like normally I don't like when they have the GMs, but I feel like these GMs fit
Yeah,
because of their background.
yeah,
You know what I'm
100%.
saying? Their background is just kind of like, all right, you look at them and they look like they could be authority figures.
Yeah, and they actually get stuff done.
Yeah. Well, Nick Aldis does. That bald headed guy on Raw. That's a different story.
Adam Pearce does his best.
Well, he needs to drink half the time, so he says it's water, but I don't believe him. I don't believe him.
Are you calling uh, Adam Pearce a liar, sir?
Yes, yes, I am. I've
How
actually
dare
met him
you?
once. I met him one time at a wrestling show. He was the NWA champion. He was defending the title at the company I was in, which is pretty cool. It was a good match. He
It
won.
was a very good match. I
But
think
yeah,
my favorite part
go ahead.
came after the match. Cena celebrating, the music's playing, and Cena gets a microphone. He's like, "Stop my music! You don't get music. You don't get nothing. I'm a walkout in complete silence, and y'all are gonna like it." I'm like,
Did you
"You
know
go,
that Cena
Cena."
got hit with a bottle?
Again?
No, on SmackDown. I don't think we had even talked about that. But yeah, a fan threw a
I was gonna
bottle
say,
at Cena.
I saw the bottle incident on SmackDown. I'm like, there's no way it happened again.
They're probably going to press charges.
100%. They should. You
Yeah.
don't throw a bottle at the greatest of all time and
Well,
expect to get away with it.
let's pump the brakes at the greatest of all time. Let's pump the brakes on that. I think that would be an interesting conversation for a future episode. The Mount Rushmore of wrestling.
So, are we allowed to talk about what happened at the press conference?
I was there. You read my mind. I was about to talk about it. Let's talk about it.
Cena comes out, and he's not scheduled to be there, but he shows up unannounced. He's like, "I'm sorry, I've been so rough on you guys. These past couple times I've done this. I'm trying to be nicer." And then Truth comes in. He's like, "JC, JC, I'm so proud of you, man. I was rooting for you. I don't care if people say you suck and you can't wrestle." Apparently, Cena had an issue with that. He's like, "Ron calling him out by his government name. You went too far. You say anything else, there will be repercussions." And Truth being true. I just wanted to say, AA through the table. And
R-Truth did
if
not deserve that.
as if Cena needed to say it, yeah, this interview's done. I'm
Yeah,
like, yeah, it's done. You just destroyed the table.
R-Truth did not deserve that. Uh, You know, you
Arthur
know,
got what he got. He deserved what he got.
how dare you?
I mean,
How
what did
how dare you disrespect a national treasure like R-Truth? How dare you?
what did you expect to happen? Ron Archer comes out telling Cena that he sucks and he can't wrestle, and Cena not do anything about that?
He no, see, he didn't. R-Truth didn't say he felt like Cena can wrestle. He was just repeating what people were saying.
You think Cena hasn't heard that? You think
Yeah, but
Cena needs to be reminded of that?
he didn't need to put hands on poor R-Truth, who helped him win the match. By the way,
He didn't need our truth. He did not need our truth to
I
win.
think his head was going to be in the second row if it wasn't for R-Truth.
Cena was just about to move, man. I could see it in his eyes.
Yeah, also with his head detached from it as well. But otherwise solid, solid. It was fine. It was a fine pay per view. It wasn't great. It wasn't bad. I mean, the past few
I'd give it a
backlashes are
B.
pretty good. B,
Yeah, I'd give it a B.
I give it a B minus. And they did set up Jay versus Logan Paul. at Saturday night's main event.
I'm glad it's at the Saturday night main event.
Yeah, give it a couple more weeks to build up.
Yeah,
Yeah, then on Raw, we got Raw tomorrow. We got Julia and Roxanne versus Rhea and Io Sky. That ought to be interesting.
that should be a banger.
Should be the main event.
100% agree.
We got AJ Styles versus Finn Balor. Um, we got the War Raiders versus El Grande Americano. Hopefully, our boy Chad Gable would be out there supporting
No,
his
no.
guys.
War Raiders
Um,
versus American Made. Sorry.
that's what I
Not
said.
Grande Americano. You did
I
not
didn't say,
say that.
I said
You
nothing
said
about a
War
grudge.
Raiders versus Grande Americano,
No,
sir.
I did not. I
Grande
said American.
Americano is not a part of the match.
I said American man. You have been obsessed with El Grande Americano.
Me, you're
Yeah,
the one
you.
who's the number one supporter of Grande Americano. Who I wouldn't be surprised
Gracias.
if you were the president of the Grande Americano fan club.
You're right
So
there with me. We're both
I am
fans.
not.
We're
I
both.
am
We're both.
not.
Yeah, it's okay. We'll get you there.
Absolutely not.
You are. We'll get you the shirt. Next time we do an episode, you can wear your Grande Americano shirt. It'll be great.
Remember the last time what happened last time you gave me a Grande Americano gift?
And on that note, we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up here because we don't need to talk about the past. Anything else you want to say, sir?
Nope.
All right. Well, that was another episode of the WWE Sit and Talk. Victor, thank you for joining us on our post
Anytime.
Backlash Talk. And, try to get you on for maybe Saturday night's main event.
Sounds good.
All right. Well, that is it. Goodbye, farewell. And the number one luchador is still El Grande
Ooh.
Americano.